Hello, welcome everybody to the BrakeDown Supporters Gaming League's podcast covering all things SGL. I'm Devitt, your host, joined by my co-host Sean Ringrose. Got some bonus content for you this time. No SGL action for a little bit. Couple issues there, but no worries here. We got some bonus content for you. So we are welcomed by our guest, Pandy.
Hello, people.
Welcome, Pandy, to the show. I know this is a little short notice as I guess we were caught a little off guard with SGL not happening last week, but it's good to have you on the show. Get to talk about some bonus stuff, what you're up to, what the league's up to as well.
For sure. I'm excited to be here, give some more insight to those who are wondering what's going on, and me as well. I'm also wondering what's going on, but hey, we're here. That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. Sean, do you want to get us started off here?
That was the smoothest segue ever. Sean, do you want to start us off? Because I don't know what to ask. Well, first of all, Pandy, welcome to the show. Obviously, still in its infancy, as this is our currently second episode. And as Devitt noted, it is bonus content only. Sad face. But Pandy, first of all, let's do the stupid, boring crap. Who are you? What team do you play for? What's your rank? And what is the most epic shot that you have actually scored in league play?
Okay, so hello, people. I am Pandy, or Flash Pandy in the Discord. I have been in SGL since the very end of Season 1. Obviously, being in Season 3, this is my second-ish season. But I am on the roadies with Palm Tree and Rhino and company. But I am currently sitting around Grand Champion 2. I've been around GC3, sometimes SSL, and a couple different things. But I'd say I'm a seasoned player, and that's what it's all about, boys.
And your best goal in league play?
Oh, best goal in league play. Oh, man, that is an interesting one. So I hit a flip reset during the SGLCS, the Challenger Series. I hit that, I believe, on, can't remember who it was on, but it was, I remember I went up the wall. It was pretty slow. I got the flip, and then I remember, I want to say 2 of the 3 defenders went above me, one went up below me, and I flipped it through the third player. And I thought Scottman was going to die because he was so excited. But I would say that's probably my best shot. Maybe a Cuxer pinch or 2 on stream, but I'd say the flip reset definitely topped it.
You got to give credit to that Cuxer pinch. I know you always said you were going to get it on stream as well. What, over 80 kilometers per hour as well? So
I called it right on the nose.
Yeah, you did in the first week. So way to get your goal off real nice and early. Got any more goals for the season? Any crazy shots, or is it just going back to league title?
Oh yeah. Well, that's implied. But for shots that I am looking forward to hitting this season, I would say definitely another Cuxer pinch at one point. Got to be faster. I'm looking at 100 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
And then possibly maybe another flip reset or 2, maybe. But I've got big hopes for the rest of the season.
So most of SGL are not as veteran players necessarily. Oh God, Zoom, what are you doing?
I don't know what that is.
And so with that in mind, I'm curious, what would you say is the number one thing for players in SGL to work on to try to get better?
I would say definitely a big issue with teams I've kind of noticed is team chemistry is kind of a big issue. Well, yes, there are big time rank deficits in teams, SGL1 and SGL2. For example, El Matador, you have Luis, who's an absolutely cracked player, GC1, GC2. Then you have his 2 teammates, not necessarily as high rank as he is, but El Matador is a great example of this. And in just the last few days, like I've posted some scrims on my channel, which we'll get to later, that have showcased their extreme growth as a team. And a lot of teams struggle with their team chemistry specifically on terms of when it could just be ranging from things like playing together on a regular basis to understanding rotations on who takes charge on this and that. But I would say definitely team chemistry is a huge thing, and personal growth also is very important, but this is a team-based sport. So all things included, I would say definitely team chemistry is one of the biggest things I've noticed throughout all teams.
Let's talk a little bit about you and the roadies. I know we've had a little bit of a short season so far, and the usual three suspects of you, Palm Tree, and Rhino haven't always been together, but I'm gonna just ask you straight up. How has the chemistry between you guys been this season? Now that you mentioned that.
So the team chemistry between us has been, to be honest, it has been almost zero. In our private channel or in our group chat, we've all been there. We've been messaging back and forth, but it's not like we've been totally distant. I'm pretty sure we've only played one game together this season, and that was 5 minutes before, hey, we have a game in 5 minutes. We should probably hop on and play that. But for the most part, our subs that I've scouted throughout my own org they have come through. But whereas team chemistry, like on the field specifically, whenever we are together, our comms are nothing. It just ends up us being us screaming and having fun and not communicating whatsoever. But it's usually just us having fun. Palm Tree, I don't know if you guys have seen the clip of him, but one time he got a pinch and he screamed and his mic peaked so loud. It peaked so loud. I'm pretty sure Discord muted his mic for him. So, but our comms usually end up like that. But our team chemistry on the field, I would say, is definitely different than most teams.
So enough about team chemistry, because we can talk about that until we're all blue in the face.
Yeah,
exactly.
I really am curious. So I've watched you and on the Discord, and I've seen you posting about scrims, and as I'm sure most people are aware, I'm fairly active in scrimming whenever I can with whoever I can. So I'm curious, what's this whole trying to get people together on a regular basis thing that I see you're trying to do?
All right. So just a few short days ago, I'd say probably about a week ago, I came up with a idea I believe to be pretty cool. So I've noticed that besides our nightly scrims, basically, we have, I'd say on average, probably about 9 people every night willing to hop in just on weeknights, sometimes even on weekends, just chilling out, having fun, doing different private lobbies and stuff like that, different crazy game modes that Sean comes up with. But a lot of people enjoy that competitive aspect of coming in. Some lower ranked players of the league enjoy coming in, playing with players like me, Luis, like Debit, even some other champ players. You're welcome, Debit. But a lot of lower ranked players enjoy coming in to play with us higher ranked players because, I mean, playing with higher ranked players gets you better. And one thing I've noticed throughout this Discord and this league, that there really isn't an opportunity for teams to sign up for full scrims. What I mean by that is during the preseason, the admins composed some sort of schedule, basically every day. I'd say, would you say 2 weeks preseason before the season started?
About 2 weeks.
Yep.
Teams could sign up for specific times in which they would scrim, whether it's 7:30 Central, 8 o'clock, or whatever, and teams would sign up every night, and they would show up and play their game, and then we would have a watch party in Discord. And followership of that was outstanding. People would come by, support the teams, even if they weren't playing. It was awesome just to have the whole league come together every night. It was awesome to see that. And I've noticed that as the season has started and continued, that kind of hasn't really been as much of a thought. So I wanted to put more thought into that. And I think with as successful as things were preseason, I definitely think we could get something like that rolling again. So my planning was that me as a streamer, I started streaming probably 3 weeks ago. I started. I've been more consistent with it lately. But I've also gotten into caster commentating. So I've developed a strong interest in that as well. For those who haven't tuned into my stream, I've streamed a multitude of different games, whether it's from separate leagues, from my own org myself, or El Matador playing against RGB 7 different times. I have seriously developed an interest in commentating. So I think I've definitely gotten good at it. And with my near 5,000 hours of experience in Rocket League, I definitely think I have some professional, not necessarily professional, but some definitely seasoned experience that I'm willing to share with the people that are wanting it. So specifically, my plan is to partner up with the admins, some people around the league that are more active, and come up with a plan for teams, whether it's SGL1, SGL2, regardless of group, doesn't really matter. You could be El Matador playing against the Roadies. I don't really care who it is. If you want to play against them, get the practice in, you can. But my plan is to come up with some sort of, whether it's a sign-up sheet or some sort of channel in the Discord for teams to come together to get a formal sign-up date against other teams any night of the week, in which they could do a formal scrim in a more professional setting. I would be streaming those games on my Twitch, twitch.tv/FlashPandy. Thank you very much.
Shameless self-promo.
Shameless self-promo.
That's welcome. That's welcome.
And I would be streaming them on my personal Twitch, and I would be commentating them for those who are willing to come by. So what that would consist of would be I have my own overlays for a more professional setting. I would provide serious insight to teams that would be playing, tips to those that are asking in the chat about certain mechanics of the game that don't necessarily understand them, but specifically focus would be put towards teams that are playing in the games. Could be Surge versus NYC 12. I don't really know, but let's say those two teams are playing, and while yes, I could just sit there and commentate the game, I could just say what's happening. My plan is to apply more of a coaching aspect of it. Since I have the experience for myself, I would be willing to take the effort, take the time, and spread that knowledge with those who are wanting it in a more professional setting on my stream and in scrims. So in between games, would be giving tips on what I think teams should be working on, what teams should be focusing on in the next game. And I've seen an effect, like that has taken effect on some teams that I've seen play already and seen under my stream. El Matador specifically, I believe they're the only full team that's played on my stream so far. Hopefully that will change soon, but I've seen improvement with them after chilling out my stream on some scrims. So I definitely think it's an opportunity that teams need to take advantage of. The opportunity is there. Hopefully we can get a more formal system of signing up and seeing solid dates and physical times that teams can show up. And my link is always open for those who want to come by. I stream every once in a while, but I'm looking to do this more often and do it more of a timely thing. So that's about it.
That's awesome, man. I do agree that it'd be really nice to have a more formal system of stuff, because I mean, we've all been in the public voice chats for a while now, 8-9 of us at a time. You've got Pittsburgh, Houston, Nashville, Dallas, Toronto,
Dallas,
RGV, RGV.
Dallas pretty much overrules the entire thing, but but you get the point. It's total hodgepodge. It's total mixture of all these different teams. But these players are developing chemistry with other teammates rather than trying to bring that back to their own squads.
Right.
So this is now an opportunity to say, hey, I've been in scrims like all week. I'll grab my teammates, Bear Blitz, Red 4, and Raisin Boy and Sill. Let's hop on a stream once. Let's hop on a stream one time. Say we'll play Mint City. Just I don't know, throwing out a team name. I mean, we could get destroyed by the roadies. It doesn't matter. But either way, you're looking for one, the experience, two, better comms with each other, three, just to relax more, because I feel like at least with some team comms, it could be really sweaty in trying to develop it rather than really just kind of letting the play come to you and just taking it natural. So I think this is a good opportunity as well. And as always, coaching from a grand champion, I'll take that. I'm a champ. What do I know?
I will add a couple more things as I continue thinking about them here. But for those who can say, like, some people can say, hey, why can't we just do a scrim on our own time? Why can't we coordinate that by ourselves? I will say having it on a stream applies more of a fun aspect for both teams that are playing. It's fun because people can see your game live. Those who may not be able to play that night or whatever can tune into the stream and watch the teams play and cheer on other teams in the league and stay involved if they can't play that night or whatever. And on a more practical standpoint, those who may not understand, I guess, the real reason of doing this, it's free coaching. It's very important. Like, whereas if I sit down with one team or one player specifically and go over a replay, like, yeah, that's a very good resource to have. But on a live stream, on live gameplay, I definitely think having the resource to go back and watch the VOD replay of the stream, you see the director camera, you see the outside view rather than personal views on the field. Like, having that extra resource and being able to go back and watch what I'm saying live on stream rather than just having that one-time replay session or whatever it is that I sit down with you and do, having that resource there is very valuable. And it's very useful to both teams that are playing rather than having one person or one team have a coaching session with me by myself. But overall, it's a fun experience for all those that are involved. It inspires more teams to get out and play in a more professional aspect. And to kind of clear things up, I didn't really say it specifically enough. Yes, so scrims will be more professional. They won't be just kind of throw it out there and we just watch the game. As I mentioned before, I will be like full-blown commentating, coaching. It will be like SGL format, like that professional level. Like, it's like SGL, but like the scores just don't count. But it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be really helpful to those involved. And I really hope people see that, and I hope they take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, that definitely helps a ton. And I'm actually surprised you were able to go to even more detail. That was really good. And I do see how this can be very beneficial to the league. It's been very hodgepodge so far.
Yeah.
I think it can be something that SGLCS was intended to be at first. Because remember how we saw it before? We wanted to improve players, get them knowledge from grand champions and even champions, and help them develop their skills into a spot where, this league becomes basically, if you get relegated from League 1 to League 2, who knows if you're making it back up to League 1 next season. Like, there's no guarantee at that point. And I think we are starting to get closer. And I think with this scrim system, I think we can start to get even closer than we are right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say, it's interesting because I think the one thing that, looking at my team and for instance, the Surge and, and I say this in all honesty that we don't practice together. And it's, life is life. Everybody has things going on. But I can tell you from like comparing our progression to say El Matador, just in the last month and a half or so, or even just month. El Matador is on a skyrocketing trajectory, in my opinion, at this point. And then, we're kind of stagnant with some slight improvement as we're going along from team play. And I think you see that in how we played against U Sector 2 weeks ago. And so just to kind of reinforce the point you're saying, it's not just enough, in my opinion, and obviously in your opinion, to just practice with people. You need to practice with your team, and you need to, and you mentioned it earlier, you need to build that team chemistry. You've got to build that time with each other. And as you noted, it also needs to be in a setting where there's some pressure on you, for the positive in terms of, it's a competitive environment versus, there's a very big difference when you're going into random, you're going into competitive matches in Rocket League where you have your team of 3 and then a random team of 3. Who knows if they're going to actually be partied up or not? Who knows what the actual ranks are going to be? An assortment of variables. At least with something like this, in at least a general sense, what you're going up against. And I think that has substantial advantages over just random competitive matches in Rocket League. Your thoughts,
Sure.
Pandy?
I definitely agree with that. So I just kind of thought of another point that can reinforce this whole thing as well. So a lot of games, unfortunately, in SGL I feel like games in SGL are either really, really close and a lot of them are not so close. They're 5-1, 6-1, sometimes even 7-1, sometimes 9-0, but that's rare occasions. But I definitely think as things progress with this, I definitely think we can see games tightening up because teams will start to figure out each other, or figure each other out. As teams, like this whole thing provides teams the opportunity to play against each other. You'll be able to see the teams that you see later in the season. I believe the Roadies play with Cinco Doce in week 6. So if we wanted to get a scrim out of the way, both teams can have an opportunity to play against each other, see each other out, because we haven't seen each other it's been a while since the two teams have played against each other. It's been probably a few months since the last time we've seen each other in a lobby. But scrims can provide that opportunity for teams to get closer, in which teams, like the games will be substantially closer in the long run. You'll see those 6-1, 7-1, 8-1 games kind of go away, unless rank deficits come into play, obviously. But those, you'll see the leaderboards take shape into being closer. You won't have this one team that's like super outstanding or this lopsided leaderboard for teams in the season. You'll see the games get a lot closer when teams start to be more comfortable with each other.
Another facet that just came to mind while you were talking about that, talking about teams having the opportunity to do something they normally wouldn't do, especially for the SGL2 teams and the SGL1 teams that participate. It's an opportunity for the ones not participating to scout their own competition,
Yes.
and actually get time to watch in meaningful games outside of just SGL, to scout the other teams that are out there and even participate a little bit. I mean, it's an opportunity, I think, for sure. And realistically, it comes down to how invested is everyone in improving versus how invested are they in it for just having fun.
For sure.
I thought of one more thing.
As we keep talking, we're thinking of more and more things.
I know, but it kind of relates because being in like comms, you talk about the roadies being like basically just having fun in them. Against Dark Clouds, against Southmost, we were telling each other everything. We were trying so hard just to stay in those games. Granted, we did pretty well, not getting any points, of course, but we kept it close at least. I think at least if we get this kind of opportunity, it'll get to a point where, maybe we're not BSing around, but we're just more relaxed out there and not trying to make a bad mistake. We're just more free flowing.
Yeah, especially when teams have the opportunity to play against each other more. It's not like you're going to the match cold. You're like, oh, I haven't seen this team in 6 months, or I've never seen this team before. I have no idea how they play. Don't know these players. I've only played against them in private matches. But scrims, you can see the whole team. You know what to expect from different teams, and as a result, teams get better as teams together, and games get closer, and the league overall gets more competitive. It's more fun that way.
I think we ran out.
I think we did run out. But seriously, though, I cannot emphasize enough how important this opportunity is for those who want to get involved in it. Those who are putting their time into this, myself, likely Devitt, likely Sean, will be very involved in this, as we already are. It's this kind of opportunity doesn't come up that much, and I am more than willing to and more than excited to put forth my time in the evenings to help people get better at the game. I find it fascinating to see people grow off of what I urge them to do or of how I coach them. So that's why I'm fueled to do this for those who want it.
I have another question for you, Pandy, to kind of wrap things maybe a little bit here. In your opinion, what SGL is right now, do you see that there's room for growth and potential growth in terms of viewership, in terms of the overall product, in terms of the competitiveness, just growth in general? Do you see that there is room for growth?
Absolutely. I've heard talk. I'm not going to say exactly what that kind of talk is yet, but I've heard talk from many different people saying, oh, we've got 2 teams that are pending. We've got this many teams that are pending. We've got 25 people that are wanting to get into the league. I've heard talk around the league that this league is going to grow a lot. Obviously, it'll have to be next season, but we could see a substantial growth in this league. And that is fueled by more and more supporters groups joining in this league as we speak. More and more groups are wanting to get in. And as that word gets out, other groups will see that, and this league will grow. As with that, the supporters groups have their social medias and all kinds of stuff that spread the word, as long as they're obviously involved. But with that growth, we could see possible partnership with big time names and could seriously grow the league. And like even those who aren't involved in SGL exactly can become a fan. Like Collegiate Rocket League, for example. This is obviously on a much smaller scale, but things can take off very easily as more and more people get interested in it. But I am absolutely optimistic where things are going. I know things are going to keep expanding more and more as time passes.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think we both see the growth opportunities for this league, and I know we're in like our 3rd season, and we had the SGL Cup before the season's like totally kicked off. Everything still in its birth stage, this league pretty much. But like you said, I think with the amount of player influx and the amount of at least general interest from people outside, I think there's a lot to take away from this. And it's going to take a lot of collective effort, not just from admins, but from pretty much everybody in this league right now, which is just the reality of it. But yeah, I think with this small project that we have that's turned into what we got now, I mean, we've had consistent viewership on Twitch, whether it be players from the league or just other outside people. They'll be friends of these players saying, like I've seen people cheer for Parker in chat. I've seen people cheer for Red 4 in chat because I think he had like a friend, something that pop in one time.
The ESR moms, can't forget those.
Oh
You
yeah,
cannot forget.
Shout out to the ESR moms.
But yeah, you can't dismiss all the support that you got right now, and we can only just build on that from there. So we got to do whatever we can to take this league to new heights.
For sure. And I'd like to mention that growth on Twitch by itself is very difficult. But as things for us grow more and more, and that, like you said, Devitt, like the influx of players gets more and more popular, our viewership on Twitch, even this league is, would you say, barely a year and a half old? I'd say.
Yeah. Just about the start of the pandemic.
And
yeah, right around the start of the pandemic.
It's crazy to see that like our viewership on Twitch sits probably between 40 and 50 viewers. And for a smaller league that's as new as we are, I think that is outstanding. And the amount of I would say the amount of attraction that the people in the league and outside the league have to SGL is outstanding. And as those numbers grow over time, more and more people that don't even know what SGL is will find the channel, they'll see it, and they'll be like, hey, that's pretty cool. And they'll be interested in it. Myself, I've joined a league. It's called Minor League Esports. I've joined it primarily off of their Twitch stream. And now I am considered a champion in the league because my team, I got recruited and we won the league, but it's merely off the Twitch stream. So seeing those numbers grow is definitely exciting to see those who don't even, like I said, who don't even know what SGL is, can be a part.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm blanking right now. I'm just caught up in the excitement of what we can do with this league.
Absolutely.
Because we know what it's capable of. Just got to be a little patient in getting there. But that about wraps it up as far as conversation goes, and any sort of interviews along the way. But for the bonus content episode, I'd say that was a really good bonus content start. Pandy, it was a joy having you on this show. Talk about your experience so far in Rocket League and what you plan to do to help this league out. Because honestly, people stepping up like you, that only creates more drive and more initiative from others that want to keep like this league going. Like,
sure hope so.
It can't be just the admins out here. We need everybody.
That's right. I do want to throw out there, if you, as someone watching or listening or whatever, if you want to get involved, just say something in the Twitch stream, or shout out an admin if you're in the Discord, and just say, hey, how can I get involved? There was, I think it was Pulsa that said something in chat the other day, and Chris was like, hey, there's plenty of opportunity if you want to get involved. Talk to an admin. I think the reality is, and you pointed it out, Devitt, that it can't just be the admins, and I hope people listening and watching understand that. Look, this show was not pushed by the admins. This literally came about because Devitt and I were sitting around joking one day while we were playing. And I don't even remember what happened. It was like, Devitt said something, and it was like, hey, save that for our podcast, Devitt. And Devitt's like, what? We have a podcast? And I was like, why not?
I remember that.
And then that's literally how this thing came up. I'm not kidding. That's literally how this thing came about. It was from a scrim day, and we were just messing around. And here we are now, with the blessing of the admins, thankfully. Pandy is trying to push this initiative of his own, and we'll see where it goes from here. But it just highlights the fact that, look, this league is growing, and the proof is in that you have people who are not admins, who are getting involved, who are finding ways to be involved and do what they can to help grow the audience and grow the content and that sort of thing. So, look, if you're out there and you're a player and you're having fun, that's great. Hey, all the more power to you. But if you're out there and you just want something more to do, trust me, there's plenty to do. I've helped with streaming. I can tell you right now, there is plenty more to do. So just ping an admin or anybody really, and just say, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity. And I can promise you that, of all of the groups that I've ever been part of in terms of Discord servers, this is one of the most welcoming and community-driven servers for a bunch of supporters groups of soccer teams that at times are rivals. Matador and Dynamo, perfect example. The Surge and El Matador, absolute rivals on the pitch, but when it comes to, Supporters Gaming League, we're cheering for each other, rooting for each other, and more than happy to play with and against each other. So, it's there's no dream too small. I mean, too big, too small. There's no dream too small, guys. There's no dream too big. If you have an idea and you've got a passion for whatever that idea may be, like I said, don't hesitate to bring it up to an admin and just see where it goes. You never know.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you again to Pandy. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to all of you watching, listening, however you may be finding us. We always welcome your feedback, your support, always here. Come check us out on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons, twitch.tv/Supporters Gaming League. Get yourself for that Rocky League action. I've been Debit. Sean, any shout-outs?
Shout-outs. GenOrange.online. Hit it up. Thank you. We got a website for myself for a totally different thing.
Pandy, any shout-outs?
Twitch.tv/FlashPandy. Shameless plug. We got to do it.
Shameless plug, baby.
Seriously,
Let's go.
though. Join the scrims. They're going to be fun. Free coaching. Take advantage of it. Thanks for having me out, guys.
Absolutely. Join scrims wherever you can, SGL players. And for those outside the league, keep checking us out. Thanks again.